Hey, it is Karie with Carico Real Estate, and I am here with Ashley Williams. She is with First American Home Warranties. So we're going to talk all about home warranties today, and I'm super excited about that. We have been trying to plan this for a while. So I'm so excited that we are here today doing this. Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm doing really well. Thank you
Perfect.
for asking.
What's been going on?
Well, I've just been trying to ramp up 2025.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I think we all put this really big hype
Mhm.
um starting the new year off on a really good foot. And so
Yeah.
I'm kind of easing into it, but I'm
Mhm.
also super excited about it because the world of warranties has diminished, from
Yeah.
2020 and on, and they're starting to ramp up. So I'm making my calendars, making my schedules,
Yeah.
and just anticipating a really good year.
Yeah.
But baby steps, because I think uh, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
just baby steps.
The world of real estate has been
It's
crazy.
been crazy. Yes, it's been
Yeah, you,
crazy. So I've just been floating along with it, trying to stay
yeah,
with the tide. But
yeah.
I'm really excited. I've made a lot of appointments lately, and
Okay.
so yeah,
Yeah.
excited.
Well, fabulous. So just a little bit, how did you get into home warranties?
Yeah, this is a funny story. Well, I
Yeah.
think it's funny,
Yeah.
but it's also, gosh, it's a testament to how God works. So
Yeah.
I was at home, stay at home mom with
Yeah.
three little kids,
Hmm.
and I was looking. My two littlest just got into kindergarten, so I had some free time. So I was like, well, let me just go find a job,
Hmm.
and I was on LinkedIn,
Hmm.
and wasn't looking too hard, but all of a sudden I got a phone call from a headhunter,
Yeah.
and she reached out and said, I've got this amazing job. Would you be interested? I'm like, yeah, what is it doing? And she said, selling home warranties. And I
Mhm.
immediately said, oh, I don't think that's for me, because
Yeah.
home warranties have
Yeah.
a bad reputation. And
Yeah.
I honestly turned it down. And then I thought, and actually, I didn't think about it until a couple of days later. And I thought, you know what? Why would you do that? Let's just kind of look into it more. And I
Mhm.
looked up the company, and everything looked good. And I called the headhunter back, and I said, "Is it still available?" And she said, "I'm so sorry. They just hired somebody today." So I
Oh,
thought, okay, well, let's just
yeah.
go with the flow. God has plans for
Yeah.
me. So then about 3 or 4 days later, I got a call back. The
Oh,
person they hired didn't work out. And
okay.
they said, "Can you be on the next flight to Texas, because that's where training was?" And it was
Yeah.
just this mad rush to get ready, and I was thrown into it. Still kind of skeptical, because
Yeah.
I didn't really know anything about home warranties,
Yeah.
and quite honestly, it took me a long time to actually figure it out. To really
Yeah.
be confident in what I'm selling and set the right expectation.
Yeah.
Because for me to say no to something immediately,
Yeah.
I mean, that's real out there. And I think that's the majority of what people think, is how
Yeah.
bad, or what a bad reputation home warranties have. But I've been doing this now for 6, 7 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm a believer, and it's not just, I'm not biased. Well, I am a little bit biased, but I see the value.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like my intention. This is my goal. It
Yeah.
has been, but I'm really going to push it this year, is more of setting the right expectation, making sure people understand it, and know the value, know that, certain things aren't going to be covered.
Yeah.
This scenario, and I like to give examples, and but it's an interesting story, because I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And
Yeah.
now I am like Miss World Warranty Girl. My hashtag is your warranty girl.
Yeah.
Um, so
That's
it's been a fun
awesome.
ride.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, can you tell us a little bit about First American Home Warranty?
Yeah,
Because there's all these different, like you said, it's got a bad stigma.
yeah.
So, anyway, so just tell us a little bit about the company that you work for.
So when I first started out, I was with a different company,
Okay.
and that didn't end up working really well. I'm selling myself, and I'm putting myself on the line, and I wanted to sell something. I still believed in home warranties. I
Mhm.
wanted to sell the right product,
Yeah,
and a position with First American opened up, and I jumped at it because I knew that they had a great reputation,
yeah.
within the area. Working for a couple of years,
Hmm.
they were my biggest competitor.
Yeah.
so when I got the position, I immediately knew that I had made the right choice. One thing that stands out the most is that this company cares. And it's not just about us, because they really do care about us, but they care about our customers too. And so they're
Yeah.
the motto, or at least I've said this motto, they do the right thing. They always do the right thing.
Mhm.
Um, and and that's just something I can't express enough how
Yeah.
grateful I am. And when I tell people I love my job, it's about the company too. I mean,
Yeah.
it mostly is about the company because I know I've got a stand-up company that's going to back me.
Yeah, well, that's fabulous. So I have another question for you.
Yeah.
We'll kind of jump into like home warranties actually. What is because people when you bring up home warranties, there's a mass confusion and it's a lot of
Yeah.
explaining that I have to do as a real estate agent. But what is the difference? Just so everybody knows, because
Yeah.
this is a question that people ask me. What is the difference between a home warranty and like homeowners insurance? Like
Yes. Great
that's a
question.
huge
Because
question.
I get people calling me all the time thinking that I'm a home insurance. And
Yeah.
I said, no, no, you need to call so and so or so and so.
Yeah.
But yeah, great question. So, whereas home insurance
Yeah.
plan, they cover, you're not supposed to say acts of God anymore, but that's what they
Yeah.
cover. They're going to cover floods,
Yeah.
lightning. They're going to cover loss of use, liability,
Yeah.
all those things. But well, and let me just continue. So the home
Yeah.
warranty, we cover the major systems and appliances in the house. So the plumbing, the electrical, the appliances, and the HVAC system, just as
Yeah.
a general term.
Yeah.
So, as an example, if lightning strikes your air conditioner system and it destroys it, then we're not going to cover it, but your home
Okay.
insurance would. If your HVAC system just dies because it's old, we're going to cover replacing that, whereas
Uh-huh.
the home insurance does not.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
kind of bridge the gap in the insurance world,
Yeah.
because this is your biggest expense is your house, or
Yeah.
and it's your biggest asset.
Yeah.
And so insurance will cover, major catastrophic events, and we cover the systems.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. So what do you think is the most common misconception with homeowners like the home warranties?
Yeah. So the most common misconception, I think, is that they're going to cover 100%.
Yeah.
So it's a limited liability contract.
Yeah.
So, for instance, and I'll just give some examples, but it goes more in depth than
Yeah.
this. When you have an HVAC replacement,
Yeah.
we cover and I can only speak about First American, not all warranties are the same,
Yeah.
but we cover under our basic plan, we cover parts and labor. So if you're looking at the boxes, what's in the boxes, the outside
Yeah.
box, the inside box, those components, we cover what's in those and the
Yeah.
labor to get those in on our basic plan. But there are modifications that have to be made to the house that have to, code upgrades that have to happen to be able to accept the new equipment. And so
Uh-huh.
that's the homeowner's portion. And I think a lot of people say, oh gosh, you're supposed to cover, why do I have this out of pocket expense?
Yeah.
Well, because we don't cover it all. We cover the systems, but not necessarily the upgrades that have to happen to the
Right.
house. We do have upgrades on our warranties that will cover a percentage of that, and those I highly recommend because
Okay.
things are expensive, and
Yeah.
the older the home is, the more code upgrades have to be met.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. That's
yeah,
a good way to describe that too. Because I always mention that to people. They're like, "Well, what does it cover?" I'm like, "Well, it covers most of the repair, but not all of it." So
yeah.
you always will have to come out with some portion of it.
Well, and there, that's for like your HVAC or possibly your water heater. It depends. If we can do a simple water heater switch out, that's fine. But if codes have to be met, then that's out of pocket expense,
Yeah.
unless you have some of the upgrades that we have that'll go towards that. But when you're looking at like an appliance,
Yeah.
that's typically a one and done. Say we have to replace your refrigerator. There's no out of pocket expense. You pay the service fee, very small. It's less than $100, and you get a brand new refrigerator.
Mm. Oh, okay. That's
installed. Yeah.
cool. That's
Yeah.
so cool. So you brought up all different types of appliances and systems, but what are like the typical appliances? Because when you just brought up the refrigerator, I forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You can add that. What
Yeah.
are typical systems or appliances that are covered under
Yeah.
most of the home warranties?
So the basic is going to cover the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC system, and all the appliances except for the washer, dryer, and fridge. And that's because washer, dryer, fridges are considered personal property and they typically go with the seller.
Yeah.
But you can add those on, or we have, the bundled plans
Yeah.
where those are included, or you can add them on.
Mhm.
But so when you're talking about like plumbing, that's going to include the disposal, the your faucets and your shower heads, and that
Okay.
with certain upgrades.
Yeah.
Um, and it's going to include your water heater.
Okay.
We have coverage for the expansion tank on the water heater, which is now required.
Okay.
Um, and any kind of pipes breaking. So the electrical, it's going to be the electrical panel. We cover ceiling fans, exhaust fans.
Hmm.
If you switches and lights, so we cover those,
Okay. Okay.
and then your HVAC system, which is your cooling and heating.
Oh yeah, 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 definitely. And furnaces, do you guys cover those
Yeah,
as well? Okay,
yeah, yeah.
excellent.
We cover furnaces. We actually cover roofs as well.
Oh, that's cool. See, I didn't know
Yeah.
about the roofs. So yeah, okay, well that's excellent. So is there any specific exclusions or limitations homeowners should like know about with a home warranty?
Yes, yes. So, and this is also one of those misconceptions.
Yeah.
If it has to be, we cover items that are in proper working order, and we cover them if they fail due to normal wear and tear. But
Yeah.
if you have something, like, oh, I'll give you an example. I had a warranty on my old house. My kid sat on the door of the dishwasher and broke it. That's
Oh,
not normal wear and tear, so that's not going to be covered.
yeah.
But but normal wear and tear, at just normal usage of a system,
Mhm.
then that's what's covered. We had one. This was one of my very first claims, but it was it was a while ago. But I like to use this as an
Yeah.
example. Well, there was an electrical short in somebody's home. They filed a claim, and the tech went out, and it was because there was an outlet in the floor, and their sofa leg
Oh,
busted it. So
yeah.
that's not normal wear and tear.
Yeah.
So, I like bringing that one up. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to cover anything that, don't throw any, don't turn on the garbage disposal with a knife in it, things
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That definitely makes sense. So it's not things that you actually, so it's like when the system goes out or there's like issues like but not when you deliberately
Yeah.
damage the
Yeah.
systems. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. And how, so we've talked about this, we were talking about this earlier, but how do home warranties add value to a seller?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Or a home buyer.
Yeah.
Because I explain that a lot, but I'd love to hear it from you because I mean, I think that'll add a lot of value to everybody that watches this.
Yeah. Yeah. So for a seller,
Hmm.
if you've been living in your house and you've got older systems, then having the warranty, well, first of all, the warranty is complimentary for a seller
Yeah.
when they agree to purchase the warranty for a prospective buyer.
Yeah.
So, because when a buyer comes in, they're going to be looking at everything. They look at how old the HVAC system is.
Yeah.
They're opening up the refrigerator.
Yeah.
They're looking at these things. And if you know that they have some age on them, or that they might be a red flag to any, prospective buyer coming in,
Yeah.
then it's good to go ahead and put that in place, because
Yeah.
first of all, you do get the complimentary coverage on it. It's free.
Mhm.
It doesn't include HVAC, but you can add HVAC for a small charge.
Okay.
But it's complimentary during that time. So if something does break, say your oven breaks, and
Yeah.
I got another example for you.
Yeah.
But say your oven breaks during the listing, that's going to be a covered item. So that's eligible for coverage, and that can save a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, and I got to give you this example because
Yeah.
it's really good. I actually did a TikTok for it yesterday.
Okay.
But an agent texted me and said, "Hey, do you cover appliances during the listing period?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Yeah, we do." And he said, "Well, I've got a seller right now, oven and microwave just busted. It was a doubled unit,
Oh, wow.
and they don't have a warranty, and it's $4,700 replacement.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh no. And so my TikTok was,
Yeah.
get the warranty, because that could have saved that seller 4,700. Well, we have on our appliances, we cover up to 3,500. I'm not supposed to talk numbers because that could
Yeah.
change. So
Yeah.
up to a certain amount. But then also we have an extra upgrade where if you have designer, high-end appliances, we could double that number. But yeah, it's huge value. And
Yeah.
I've seen sellers save thousands of dollars for, I had one, there was a ceiling fan motor that needed to be replaced. There was some
Yeah.
HVAC issues, board, what are they called? The baseboard
Oh,
heating.
yeah.
It had
Baseboard heating. Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Toilet had issues, and a garbage disposal had issues, and every single one of those were fixed
Oh, wow.
for just the cost of the warranty for the buyer.
Oh,
It was
wow.
the basic plan. So, you can't get a plumber to, they're expensive. You can't get a plumber out there for less than $300.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So, and so the biggest, sometimes it's a hurdle to have, because sellers don't really understand, why would we want to offer a home warranty? But what value do you feel like it brings to the deal and or, negotiations for a
Yeah.
seller, for
Well,
maybe so they can better understand this? Because,
well, so aside from having the coverage during the listing,
mhm.
any prospective buyer is going to have more peace of mind knowing
Yeah,
that something's is covered,
yeah,
because that's what they're looking at. I
yeah,
mean, and here's the biggest thing,
yeah,
and I hear this all the time. I get calls from agents, and you get the inspection back. The HVAC is working perfectly fine, but it's 20 years old, and the buyer's like, oh well, I'm not. They need to replace that. Well,
yeah,
as a seller, you've done your thing. You've gotten you've taken
yeah,
care of that old beast, and if it's working fine, there's no reason you should sell that. I mean,
yeah,
you should replace that.
yeah,
So offer the warranty, and that's a great compromise and a huge value to the buyer too.
yeah,
It's when you own a home, there are expenses. They're
yes.
just expensive.
It's
Homes
gonna
are,
happen.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not if, it's when. As
Yeah.
a homeowner, you're going to have these expenses. So, the warranty is a huge tool, a great negotiating tool, and
Yeah.
it could really help out in a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely agree because it really does. I mean, with some houses, it's like you really should have one as a seller
Oh,
just
oh
for
yeah,
their usage.
yeah,
I've seen so many times where it's really, really helped, like negotiations, even during due diligence. I've had some
oh yeah,
home owners have the warranty year after year
yeah,
after year,
oh yeah,
and it saved tremendous amount of money during
yeah,
the due diligence period with like all the
oh
repairs.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely,
so
yeah.
I always recommend them. Whether or not, they haven't been a thing. Have you noticed since the market's been changing, they're becoming more of a thing?
Yes, thank
Yeah.
goodness. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was 2022 when 2022 hit, because
Mhm.
2020 and 2021 were gangbusters. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
crazy. But then 2022 hit, and things just went downhill. The home market just went,
Yeah.
sideways, and warranties were the last thing people were talking about because it
Yeah.
was such a seller's market that
Mhm.
they weren't offering it. And buyers were buying things without inspections,
Yeah.
without, they were buying it sight unseen, just through
I
a
know.
video, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
It's little things like that.
yeah, and as company wide, we've kind of been in the red. We've
Yeah.
always stayed afloat. And actually, out of all the home warranties out there, we're the only one that added people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but warranties nationwide saw a huge dip,
Mhm.
and as a matter of fact, as of like third quarter last year, we started seeing green. So,
Amazing.
yeah, it's huge. And
Yeah.
my territory specifically, or I'm in the southeast is my region, and our
Yeah.
region specifically was the highest increase. So I'm definitely seeing a huge increase, and I think that's going to be another staple again. People are really seeing the value. If you look at how much everything costs right now,
Yeah.
prior to 2020, the average cost to, and I could safely say this, the average cost to replace your HVAC system was about $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah.
Now it's 12 to 20. It's so expensive. And so I
Yeah.
think people are now like, yeah, we need to have this extra amount of coverage, because when you compare how much money you're saving with a warranty and how much you have to purchase without one, you'd be
Yeah.
shocked. It's huge, huge
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. And I agree too, because years ago, before I got into real estate, I had a home warranty. I didn't understand what it was, but I just knew I was supposed to call
Yeah.
this number. And yeah, I had no idea. And so the guy that I had bought the house from, he put in the most expensive microwave and refrigerator and like ceiling fans. So when the refrigerator kept having problems, and then we'd call the number because we were like, oh, this is the number we're supposed to call when we fixed it. We didn't know it wasn't actually you know, the place that fixes it. We just knew that was the number we called. It was a home
Yeah.
warranty people. And it
Yeah.
was funny when that home warranty ran out, we were like, oh, so it does save you money. We had no clue. We're like, oh, that's what that was. Totally oblivious. And then I realized,
That's so funny.
my
Yeah.
gosh, this refrigerator is expensive.
Well, it's funny. Because I remember buying, this was years ago. I mean, I'm old, but my first house, we had a home warranty, and again, it was just it was part of the
Yeah.
transaction, so I didn't really know anything about it.
Yeah, that's
And
how I was.
we actually had the it was within the first 6 months, the
Yeah.
main water line from the house to the street. I came home one day from work, and the city was out there turning it off. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well,
Yeah.
you've got your water line busted." And I was like, well, let's call the warranty company, because I was like, oh yeah, we've got one.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the option to cover that. So
Oh,
I remember my husband and I at the time, we were like, what use is this?
yeah, exactly.
But we didn't have the add-on.
Yeah, yeah. This is so funny. You and I had like opposite. I was like, this is
I know,
great.
isn't that funny?
It didn't cost that much to fix it. And then I learned. I learned. Yeah, because that oh my gosh, that refrigerator costed a lot. It would cost so much to fix it. And it just kept having issues. But that's so funny. Okay. So one other question I have is like, everyone asks about this, like the process of filing a claim.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like for
Yeah.
me, when I didn't know about it and I was clueless, I just was told, call this number if something breaks. So,
Yes. So we have an 800 number you can call.
Okay.
I discourage people from doing that, because we're a big company. You're going to call into a large call center.
Yeah.
A lot of people, some people will still do that. I just don't like, I personally, it's like, okay, I've got to call Verizon, and I just put it off for the longest time.
Yeah.
But we have an amazing homeowner center that's online. So you get a link to that. You can go in, register as a homeowner, and that way you can see all the benefits, because we have more than just the benefits of the warranty. We offer, filter services and
cool.
handyman services that are, we've partnered with a third party contractor.
Yeah.
And so there are more benefits, but they have everything at their fingertips when they register, and they can go online. They can file claims there. There are videos showing them how to do that. And then everything is pretty much, once you file that claim, you're within 2 minutes, you're going to get notification of who is assigned, their information, and then they can wait for the technician to call. I always tell people, wait 30 minutes, let it get into their system, and then give them a call and get on their books. But it's super easy. I have it. I have a home warranty, and everything is done. I do everything on my phone, my business, everything, and filing claim is super easy. And it's just, and they text back. You get it's a great system. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. I would agree. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it saves money. I know a lot of investors that also use home warranties.
Yes.
Yeah. So we as well, for our investment properties, we have home warranties. So you just made me think that nobody filed the claim for the stove I just had to replace. We need to reevaluate that with the property. I had to pay $1,100 for that new stove. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So we probably need to talk about that. But yeah, you made me think about that. So how does your company pick the technicians? How does that happen? Because that is always a question.
Oh yeah. So they go through a rigorous there's a process that they go through, and they have to have the correct insurance. They have to be able to take, handle, or rather, we take all size companies. We
Yeah.
have your mom and pops, we have the single guys, and then we have the big companies who only work with home warranty companies. But
Yeah.
they go through a rigorous process of vetting them.
Yeah.
And then again, that's all I know, because I'm not
Yeah.
on that end. But I
Yeah.
do know a friend of mine who's a locksmith in the area,
Yeah.
and he worked for us, and he was like, it's like, it's a huge process.
Yeah.
He got through, but it's like they really make sure that everything's tight and sealed
Yeah.
before we send anybody out.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
great to know. I mean, because that's always a question. So what pointers or tips can you give a home owner for making the most out of their home warranty?
Yeah. So I get this all the time. I'll get a call from, in fact, just recently, I got a call
Yeah.
from a gentleman, and he had a toilet issue. And so I guess I'm gonna preface this with use it wisely. If it's something that you can fix and save the service fee,
Yeah.
then do that. This was something simple where he just had to. It's toilets run all the time, and it doesn't matter. I bought a brand new toilet, and
Yeah.
within 2 weeks the flapper thing kept coming off. And it's just a matter of just fixing, putting it back. So I walked him through that. But it's, looking at what's going to be the most money saving thing. I talked him out of spending the service fee, and he fixed it and let me know, oh, yeah, you were right. But then also, call me, because I'm your resource. I'm the one who really knows what to do. And so I like to walk people through, okay, this, and this. Let's start here. And, I have some people that don't ever use it, and I have some people that use it all the way. There's no limit on it. There's no limit on our coverage. So they use it to the hilt. But I just tell people, I encourage all real estate agents, hand my phone number out to your clients, because I'm the person on the streets advocating for them. And
that makes sense. Yeah. And that's definitely helpful, because I think people like to be able to talk to an actual person.
Yes.
Sometimes. I mean, and I think it makes them feel more confident using it as well. Because they build a relationship with you, for sure. And one of them, I had a house I sold, like I think I'd mentioned that earlier. They had kept the home warranty, I think, for like 10 or 15 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was insane. And I was like, that is so amazing. I mean, I think everyone should do that. It's a fee, but it's helpful.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously, but again, I'm a single mom, 3 kids.
Yeah.
I need the help, and I don't get any special treatment from my company.
That's funny. So one other question I have for you is, like, how does First American, how are they different from other competitors? How are you guys different?
Oh, hands down. It's the care that they have, the heart that my company has. But one of the biggest things too, that the clients, that homeowners really notice, is that we are the only company that has, like, I have a service partner, and she is dedicated she works with, I think, 2 or 3 other area managers, but she's my service partner, and we talk multiple times a day. I love her. And if there's ever an issue, or, somebody saying, hey, what's going on with this? She's my go-to person. We're the only company that has dedicated claim specialists that we can talk with and bring things up. So if anything's going sideways, we can get it nipped in the bud pretty quickly. And so,
that's awesome. So one other question I have is, what should, like, a homeowner or like real estate agent look for when they're looking for a home warranty company?
So what you want to look at, and nobody wants to do it, but it's the fine print, because anybody can boast, oh, we cover this and this and this, but how much of that are you going to cover? You want to look at how much what the caps are. I know there's one company out there that their HVAC cap is $1,500. What's that going to do when you've got a $13,000 HVAC? I mean, you're saving money, but not near as much as what you could if you chose a different company. So caps are huge. You also want to look at Um, if if they cover for rust, age, and corrosion, because
Okay.
some companies will cover for rust,
Yeah.
but if it's a certain rust and corrosion, but if it's a certain age, they won't, or vice versa. So you want to make sure that all those, I mean, I think those three go hand in hand.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Age, rust, and
Agree.
corrosion go hand in hand. So you want to make
Yeah.
sure that that's all covered.
Yeah.
Um, but I think those are probably pretty much the the biggest ones. And
Yeah.
also you want to have that area rep.
Yeah.
You want to be able to have somebody local that is on your side, that's your advocate.
Yes.
I think that's very important.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I mean, for me as a real estate agent, it's so important to have a direct contact.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate offering the home warranties that I don't know who to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get really weirded out about it. So I get that completely, and I feel more comfortable being able to talk to you directly.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. So a couple more questions. Is there any new exciting things coming out of your company for this year?
Well, we pretty much, so we're keeping our plans are the same, but we
Yeah.
are making sure people understand there's a new EPA
Mhm.
mandate that is started January 1st,
Okay.
2025,
Yeah.
where the old refrigerants, well, and I say old, remember when R22 was
Yeah.
being kicked out in
Yeah.
2020 and they were bringing in the R410,
Yeah.
whatever it was. Well, that now, the new one is now being discontinued. So as of January 1st, 2025, manufacturers are not legally allowed to manufacture those systems that use those refrigerants.
Oh, wow.
So I know. So we are still, we still have the coverage for systems going into 2025
Yeah.
for repair and replacements, and we're going to handle those costs. So,
Okay.
so we're still covering those systems, and it's now is more,
Yeah.
no time better than now to make sure you have
Yeah.
a home warranty going into
Yeah. Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
year's.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Last question.
Yes.
Any advice, because I know we've got a lot of first-time home buyers on here. Any advice for her first-time home buyers? Do you recommend them getting a home warranty? What do you give them because
Yeah.
they are new to the game?
Yeah. So no, I recommend every first time home buyer,
Yeah.
because you just don't know, but
Yeah.
also it's expensive. You put a lot of your resources into that first home, which is a
Yeah.
great thing, but you're not expecting to have an oven go out or
Yeah.
anything happening, because and you're so excited, and so
Yeah.
it's such a bummer when you do. But having somebody who you can call
Yeah.
and say, hey, this just happened, is I mean,
Yeah.
what peace of mind,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had a guy, gosh, he was good. He's a really nice guy. I actually, he was a client of mine. I'd never met him, but we were doing some volunteer work together when the floods hit,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, you're my home warranty rep," and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh."
that's
So
cool.
yeah, and so then he's like, "I haven't had time to do anything, but I need to make a couple of claims." I'm like, "Okay, here's the link. Do it. Keep me posted." And literally within like a week, we had to replace. We had his stovetop and his refrigerator, both were deemed they need to be replaced.
Oh,
And
wow.
he got both of them, like
It's huge.
within the same week. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he
Yeah.
was a first time home buyer with
Yeah.
just had a baby. Just so, I mean,
That's a
could you
lot.
imagine? Literally, and actually, it's funny because he sent me a picture of the baby and
Mhm.
said, "This, born today," and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my gosh, congratulations!" He's like, "Now I need to file those claims."
Yeah.
So,
That is crazy. That's so
isn't that
hard
crazy?
too yeah, with a brand new baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, no, first time home buyers, hands down, they need it. They need the resources. They need somebody that they can call and
Yeah.
kind of walk them through the processes and set
Yeah.
the right expectation and guide them. So yeah, I mean,
That's
and
awesome.
not just first time, but I think everybody needs one. That's
Yeah,
my goal.
I
Everybody
agree.
needs a home warranty.
I agree. I agree with you. So we are wrapping this up.
Okay.
Anything else you have to say to everybody out there?
Oh, I'm just grateful that you included me in this
Oh,
video series.
thank you.
I love working with you, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you. And
Yeah,
if
so do
anybody
I.
wants to
Yes.
call me or text me,
Yeah.
364-826-6034.
Perfect. And I will put all of Ashley's information down in the comments, and you can always DM me or call me, and I will connect you to Ashley right away. Thank you so, so much,
Thank
Ashley,
you.
for coming on here. And we hope you come on again. We can talk about a cool topic.
Yeah, that sounds great. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, bye.